We got a King of Osmane as France, and the big number person here is playing as the Chinese Triming Trufa. Howda. I'm trying to remember if I know that fella. I think they might actually be Chinese themselves, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yep. Chinese name. It's totally a Chinaman. Cheeky Chinaman. So starting out with the trading post. That's standard of the Chinese build order. Also, the French build order also requires a trading post to set up their timing with everything quite nicely. So I believe in this situation, a France versus a China, there's a good chance we're going to see some sort of Age 3 action here. French love their Age 3, so do the Chinese. It's where they play their strongest at. So we could potentially see both sides going for their naked fast fortress and ignoring the other person until they get up. Or we might see some H2 action. It really depends. Depends on what build the China's doing. So the China did get the train post. They're getting the village right now for the housing space. So we're going to have to check their deck out and figure it out. They're probably getting T-Export, right? Yep, they're going to get T-Export. Yep, absolutely. It's always the first card to get. It's Chinese. Gives you a free consulate. That's 200 wood value. Actually gives you 100 export to use right away, so you can pick an alliance immediately. And then for the rest of the game, it adds an export trickle. So it's a very substantial card that does 3 very powerful things at the same time. So the question always is with China, which of the consulate allies are they going to go with? It's going to be one of two things. They're either going to go Russians for the blockhouse, or they're going to go French for the resource crate text. One of those. There's really no other methodology of the Chinese on a land map like this. So we'll go up right here, find out right away what their alliance is going to be. Then we can gauge from that what their wonder is going to be. If it's Russians, it's probably going to be Summer Palace. Oh, it's going to be French, so we can assume that the wonder will be the Porcelain Tower. French consulate allies followed by Porcelain Tower is a very common build. The reasoning for going French allies in Age 1 is so you can research the 400 food crate technology to drop off 400 food in your base. It's very nice. It's a nice kick to get you into Age 2 very fast, right? And if you want to, you can stick around as the French and get the other resource crate techs, or from there you can jump off and move to either the British for HP or the Germans for their trickle technologies and their discount on your banner armies food costs. It's a 7 villager Porcelain Tower age up. So it's going to be a very fast age up. The more villagers you put on, the wonder to build it. French will be going Quartermaster. So French do have the ability to stick it out in Age 2 with that setup of so many resource crates, but as I said, they'd much rather go to Age 3. Get the Falconet, the Dragoon, the Cuirassier, and the Skirmisher shipments back after back after back. That's the whole reason you get a trading post at the start of the game is France, so you can get those nice, useful unit shipments sent out rather close to each other, and you get a very nice win. Okay, for couriers, this is looking to be a semi-fast fortress with the stable, so we're going to see Hussars here. Okay, so Hussars are going to be a factor here. Hussars should definitely be able to beat the standard army of Chinese, as well as a few other ones right off the bat because of their high HP, their reasonable melee attack, and the fact that they're cavalry. free hussars. 700 wood. Okay, so going for infrastructure and cavalry. What is this? So the China's going to open up with a 7-step rider shipment there for some pressure. But I'm assuming they're going to go for 700 gold next and make it sort of a semi-fast fortress. Is that right? Yep, 700 gold. What did I tell you? Now what they're doing, which is interesting, is they are sticking around in the French consulate allies. So I don't know if that's just because they're busy or do they actually plan on sending the wood and the gold resource crate technologies as well to get those resources right off the bat. So that could be pretty good for them. So the step riders do take out one Hussar. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. Oh, took you long enough. Alright. Well, unfortunately, there's so many Hussars here that I would totally retreat with these step riders. Because the thing is, step riders, they're a one-pot cavalry, so they're very flimsy. They're kind of on par with Cossacks. Whereas the Hussars are a real meaty cav unit that you need to watch out for. Though they do consume about 2 pop instead of 1. China is gonna go with Quang pikemen as a defense against Hussars. Because it looks like they will begin their fortress age, that is in the bag. But they do need a little bit of protection from mass cavalry. The Quangs will be a temporary solution until they can get into age 3 and get something a little bit more substantial. Yeah, Quang pikemen are, I believe, one of the weakest units statistically in the game, so even though they do counter cavalry, they can eventually be dealt with if needed. But it does look like the France is not going to waste any stats, and he's going to try to get out of there. Though the Quangs are snaring him right now. They are snaring him, but the France has developed barracks and doing musketeer. They're going 1 barracks musketeer. Yep, 1 barracks musketeer for now, but that could easily become a 2 barracks musketeer. Right, yep, definitely. Looks like the Chinese also called out their regulars too. Those are going to get swept pretty easily there by either a musket shot or a hussar swing with their saber. Looks like the China is still lacking the food to get their fortress age. Not good. Where are they going to make up that food from? You could eat the goat. Nah, it looks like the goat is a little under food needed there. So yeah, basically. Going for the 1 castle and flamethrower card, it looks like. That's typically the build we see from the Breaking Me player, who also does this build. I don't know in this situation if it'll be safe though, because you're going to have to get that castle up right away, since it looks like the French player is right active in your base. And you definitely got to make sure that flamethrower will not just get sniped right away by those hussars too, for it to be valuable. Still under the food they need for an age up, so I think they're trying to race towards something that they unfortunately can't get to right now, thanks to this very clever French pressure that they're applying. Alright, flamethrower got a little bit of success, but it was quickly diffused. Alright, gets the age up finally with Confucian Academy, so you can get some free flying crows, as well as a batch of arquebusiers to fight off these muskets. Is the France going to go age 3? Yep, yes they are. They're going to get, it's like, yeah, they sent their both gold cards to maintain pressure. Well, that's pretty interesting. So it looks like they do have enough gold now to get their fortress age going. Yep. Alright, they're going to go up with... Oh, they're already in age 3. I didn't even notice that. So they're going for age 4. They're going for industrial age with the Tycoon. They're going to age 4 with the Tycoon. They're going to get a ton of gold from that. I think about 1,000 gold or so, right? Yeah, big time. Right now, looks like the France will go Skirm Dragoon. One of the most reputable unit comps in the game, I would say, is like Cavalry with the Skirmisher, because they protect each other quite well in a fight, so good idea by the France. And what they do with that 1,000 gold from the Tycoon age up, we'll see. We'll see what that ends up going into there. Looks like, looks like China will be going to either German or Brit alliance. They are shipping in Chengdaos. Oh, they already, okay, so they queued up the French wood tech there, and now they're going to be going to British or Germans for consulate. I think Chengdao is probably a bad move, because they'll just get shredded by whatever the French are doing. Well, you know why? Because he thinks that he's going to be dealing with handcap. That's why. He's got that bias planted in his brain without doing recon to verify. He thinks that his biggest threat's going to be those Hussars that have been fighting him before. So he's like, oh, I'm going to do Chengdao to protect against that, but didn't do any sort of intel to figure out that, no, you're actually going to need more of the, what's this comp again? It's Skirmisher Dragoon. You're going to probably want at least Skirmishers to fight them, like go mass Arquebusier or something. I mean, obviously these Skirmishers are going to fight better than Arquebusiers, but if you can get enough of them, that's the best way to scare off the Skirmisher Dragoon combo. Beautiful shipment, by the way. Biang army gives you about 8 stepbriars and 8 Kijiks. Just really bad for this situation. Yeah, because obviously the problem with going with this comp is skirmishers just counter your Kijiks, and then the Dragoons will take out your stepbriars. So really all you can do as China is just try to get more skirms than they go ahead and try to, you know, eke out some land with that. And maybe put in a few flamethrowers if you can too, to do the necessary meat shielding. Nice win there for the French. We'll move on to the next one now. Very nice stuff so far.